What's up, guys? Welcome back to Adventure Zach. Today we are going to be installing our 13-tooth front sprocket. As you can see, thankfully I got the right one this time, and this is what they previously sent me, which is really funny because right here, 15-tooth, 13-tooth, but look what they did on the sticker right there. 13-tooth steel front sprocket. But the packaging label, which is like built into the packaging, printed on the packaging, is a 15. Makes no sense. So that's what we have. So I gotta send this one back. So what we're gonna need in order to do this, we're just gonna go ahead and deal with everything directly from our toolkit. Wolfman tool roll. Thing's amazing. I'm going to get the I'm going to get the rear fender tool bag. So we're just going to work out of this bag precisely to do the front sprocket. We shall need a pair of gloves, obviously. That way you don't get your hands all oily, greasy from the chain lube. This is the gear that I just picked up. I have a video that I'm currently making on that right this second. Haven't tried it out yet, haven't tested it out yet. It's got really good reviews. We'll see how it does. We'll see how it is. Okay, so we're going to get our Motion Pro T-wrench. Not exactly sure what size sockets that I'm going to need. I'm just going to kind of wing this while I do it. Very easy installation, but what we'll do is we'll just wing it as we go. That way you guys can see firsthand. I mean, I'll edit out the boring bits. But so you guys can see firsthand what it is I'm using. So I'm going to take the front sprocket cover off and get to the wheel. Okay, so this right here should be pretty much everything that I need. Obviously don't need the tire spoon, but this is a Motion Pro tire spoon and axle wrench. We're going to use this to crack the rear tire loose. That way we can slide the tire, adjust the chain a little bit to pop the front sprocket off easier. And then I've got my 3-way Motion Pro T-wrench here. This should have everything that I need. You need I believe that's an 8. Yeah, you need an 8mm to take the front sprocket cover off. Chain, cover off, chain guard, whatever you want to call it. I don't think we're going to use either of these sizes. We've got a 12, we've got a 13, and I believe, 10 right here. So pretty much have every size that I need. And then this is just another socket that I utilized for an Allen key on it, just for some of the parts of the bike. It's just better to know that you can crank it with this. You can tighten it down a little bit better. You can spin it off rather than using a Allen key itself. Much faster that way. Just going to go ahead and wipe off a little bit of the grime off this front cover. I'm not getting into the motor or nothing. It's just I like to clean it off a little bit. Alrighty. That's cleaned off. Then we're going to take our center stand. We're going to slide it underneath the bike. Lock the center stand. Alright, so then what we're going to do from here, man, I got some leaves in there still. I need to relube my chain up a little bit. We're going to crack this off. Just the 2 bolts. That's what I thought. Don't be surprised if there's some leaves or mud or dirt in here. I'll clean that out before reinstalling it. So, just kind of wiggle it out a little bit, lift it up a little bit. It comes right off. Look how clean it is on the edge where the chain rides. It's like chrome. So we know this is a different size. This is probably going to be 2 10mm. Pop them on. I'll put it in gear. There we go. So I was thinking I might be able to get this off without having to adjust my chain. But I think we'll have to go ahead and adjust that. Typically, you should have to obviously slide it forward, increase the slack to slide that off easily. We'll do that here in a second. I needed to get a pair of needle nose to remove this. So much dirt on the shaft. Just gotta wiggle it off a little bit, it'll come off. Get a little bit of dirt on there. We'll clean that off. So what we'll do next is we are going to increase chain slack. Don't need to take it all the way off. Just loose. I'm going to adjust our chain sliders in to increase chain slack. Come back over here and hopefully pop this chain right off. Again, it'll come off. Just takes a minute, especially if your shaft is dirty. Probably should have increased my slack a little bit more. I might actually do that. So this is the factory sprocket. Factory sprocket is a 14 tooth. Still in really good condition. We're obviously going to keep that because you never know. We might do this and might say, oh no, I want to go back. You know, who knows? You never know. So what I'll do before I button this all up, just give it a little clean in there. I'll have to relube my chain and all, but we'll do that after we get her all readjusted. It's no big deal. Yeah, I am the guy that tends to overly clean all of his stuff. I mean, it's just the way I am. I've always liked to take really good care of my stuff, so you know, if I go out for a hard ride and then I'm washing my bike meticulously afterwards, I mean, I don't spend like all day washing, I just do like a quick half an hour, 20-minute wash on it. I like to keep my stuff clean, man. Got no problems getting it dirty whatsoever. I'm the guy that doesn't like, I'm not the guy that doesn't like to not get his stuff, you know, dirty. Oh, I don't want to get it dirty. Nah, not at all. I'll take my stuff through the deepest of mud, you know, if I have to, but I do like to keep it clean, though. Do like to keep her clean. I guess while I'm here, I might want to inspect. I guess I might as well inspect my chain guard while I'm here. Chain slide. You know, make sure it's not damaged at the front while I'm right here. Which, no, she's not. Looks perfect. It's always good to check that because it's kind of hard to see it when you got the bike all together. You start getting, you know, wear marks. Starts getting chewed up or anything in there. You know, you want to change that. It's easy to change. It's cheap to change. You don't want it to start tearing into your swing arm. At least I wouldn't. Alright, so now that everything's cleaned off per se, give everything a quick little wipe down. You know, don't have to clean it to where you're going to eat off of it or anything like that. Let's clean it off a little bit. Everything on it looks good. What I'm going to try to do, actually, because I could just pull it like I just did. There she goes. There we go. Might take a minute to get it all the way back. And you'll know once you got your cutouts right there open. And that right there is, you can also put your finger back there and feel. It's just, again, if they get a little dirty, it can be a pain to get on sometimes. So, honestly, don't think it matters front or back, but we're going to put it back on. And then obviously slide it down into the cutout. These can be a pain sometimes. If you get them to go a little too far down, then they won't want to twist on you. So you got to get them like just right. See, it's going too far down. And again, it's just because make it want to be a pain in the ass. There we go. Weird thing is people were talking about a rubber bushing or something on their 14 tooth. I don't know if it's on the older CRFs. People were saying it about quiet chain noise down some. Mine doesn't have that. So I don't know. I don't see no rubber bushing here. Plastic bushing, whatever you want to call it. I don't know what's up with that. I think it might just be because either that's on the older models or B, this is a 2017. I'll have to tighten that down like ridiculously tight. Just a nice torque. So you know it's not going to come off. Obviously you don't want that coming off when you're riding. And obviously the chain's going to hop right now because it's just too loose. Perfect right there though. So once we'll adjust all this, it'll be good. I'm going to go ahead and leave the cover off while we do this. What I like to do is keep a little tension on the rear tire just to make sure we're good here. Boom. Make sure it's pushed forward on both, because if you ever notice, your wheel will be cocked a little bit. And if you ever take a look at the gap here, that's why it's good to go off these bottom. But you also, when you go off these bottom holes here, to make sure your tire is aligned, you want to also make sure that you push back on the tire, at least I do, and it keeps the tire fully forward. Because if you ever look at it sometimes, these are loose, these are flopping around. These may look like it's up against it, but it may not be. There might be a small gap there. So, and as soon as it pushes forward, well, guess what? Your shit's unaligned. So, food for thought. What do we do here? Tighten our chain adjuster down. Just as anything, don't want to over tighten it. Nice and snug. And now we're going to go ahead and tighten down our axle. All right, so now that the chain is readjusted, we'll put the cover on now. Front sprocket's done. We're going to go ahead and slide the front sprocket cover on. This thing is a little tedious to get on it first. If you haven't done it before, it's got a little technique. You got to like put this in and slide it down. It's got another cutout here. Make sure you put it underneath that cable, because obviously that cable follows in through there. And then what I like to do, I think these were 8s. What I like to do, most people probably like to do this as well. I like to take them, machine thread, so you should just very easily be able to thread them in. Shouldn't be tight. Shouldn't be hard to, you should be able to thread it all the way down with your fingers, that is, if you could. And then we just go ahead and put them both in. And then we'll tighten them up one at a time. This is same thing, just snug. Doesn't need to be torqued hard. And just snug it down. And she's good. Alright guys, well that is it for 13-tooth front sprocket installation on a 2017 CRF250l. Did a quick chain adjustment on it as well. Pretty self-explanatory. If you want me to do a little bit more of an in-depth video on how to do your chain adjustment, I'd be glad to do that. Just let me know in the comments below. All I needed for this front sprocket removal and installation from the 14-tooth factory to the 13-tooth aftermarket was a 8mm socket, 10mm socket with my Motion Pro T-wrench. If you guys don't have one of these things are amazing. Do yourself a favor and get one if you carry a toolkit. If you don't carry a toolkit, then shame on you. No, but seriously though, you should always carry a toolkit on any bike you ride, whether it be on street, dirt. Definitely better than the factory. Factory is, I don't even carry anything in there anymore. So yeah though, 8mm, 10mm, needle nose, pop the assist with taking the sprocket off. Okay, 19 and a Motion Pro wrench. Don't have to have this. This is just nice to have. I use this for my toolkit. Take off break the rear tire loose, rear axle loose, so you can do the chain adjustment. And a 12 and a 10 for the actual chain adjustment bolt and nut. So that's literally all you need for doing a front sprocket installation. And if you can bomb right through it, don't want to take your time cleaning up some things like I did, you could literally have this done in 15 minutes. So, but yeah, thank you guys for watching, and stay tuned for the next video. Peace.